PAX 8 Beyond 2026. What an incredible event. Incredible. I believe it's PAX 8's finest. Was there in Salt Lake City, and it was run incredibly well. The keynotes were really, really incredible. Great messaging, great new announcements. The way they handled the media. We had a whole podcasting row and treated us really, really well. Well attended. Thousands of MSPs, thousands of attendees that were just, ready to learn, ready to share, ready to be part of this community. Really great event. They're in Salt Lake City, an unusual location in that I've never been to an event there before, but Salt Lake City did a really good job of hosting it. Beautiful there in the mountains, and absolutely the weather was incredible, although we didn't spend much time outside. But Podcast Row was set up incredibly well too by PAX 8 leadership. Had 15 great conversations. First was with Brent Whitfield from New Charter, of course, from Garage Startup to 8-figure exit lessons for MSP leaders. Great conversation with Brett, great insight. Next was my friend Rob Scott from Monjura, of course. Why AI can't replace human expertise in high stakes decisions. Great conversation with Rob. Rob, so well-rounded. Really enjoyed. It's my second time talking with him on the podcast. Dave Meister from Checkpoint, from Tech Apprentice to Global Cybersecurity Leader. Great conversation with Dave. Really, really cool insight. First time meeting Dave. Oh, and then Kim Simmons. My goodness. Second year talking to her at PAX 8. I'm a big fan of her and her Cloud Contracts 365. How growth mindset and AI are reshaping business success. Wonderful to see Kim. Next, Dan Daniele from CrowdStrike. Had the pleasure of knowing Dan for many years. How AI is changing cybersecurity faster than most businesses realize. Really great conversation with Dan. Always enjoy his time. Ryan Seguin. First time I met Ryan from ScalePad. Really great conversation, really open. Why your best growth opportunity is already in front of you. From PAX 8, next was Ola Wodakowicz. Sorry, Ola, if I mispronounced that. From burnout to balance in a hyper-connected world. First time meeting Ola. Really great conversation. Enjoyed it. Gagan Singh, of course, from Blackpoint, CEO there. The AI revolution, opportunity, risk, and the future of humanity. Great talk with Gagan. I've had the pleasure of talking to him before, not on the podcast, but really, really smart, really insightful. Daniel De La Garza from Kipling Secure. Great conversation with Daniel. There, we're doing a lot of work with Kipling. It was a really great conversation. Thank you, Daniel. Next was Jason Myers from Open Text. AI is powerful, but not as smart as you think. Great conversation with Jason. Joe Levy was next from Sophos. Had so much in common with Joe. We're both from the Northeast, and we were doing very similar things with computing in the 90s, and really great insight from Joe. Thank you very much. Luisa Balanuch. I think I mispronounced that, Luisa. But incredible conversation with Lisa. She's doing great thing with offshore and nearshore hiring, helping MSPs do that. FlexPoint is the name of the company. Ryan Walsh from PAX 8. My friend Ryan, is the second year we've talked on the podcast. Great insight. The time goes by so quickly. Thank you very much, Ryan. Brian O'Shaughnessy, one of my good friends for 15 years, has an MSP, recently merged with a friend, Rob Bruce, who I also talked to. From startup panic to lasting success. Great talking with Brian, great insight. Jessica Davis. My goodness, Jessica, we've known each other for a little while. Great to have you on the podcast. And last was Rob Bruce, the two leadership partners at SkyTide, from Africa to MSP business. Excellent guest. I thank all of you for taking the time to spend with me there at Beyond. And thank you for watching and for listening. Hi, I'm Joey Pinz, and here's my 45-second introduction. After starting my business in the 90s, I started developing poor habits of eating in my diet because of working way too much. Before you know it, I found myself 340 pounds. The doctor told me if I don't lose the weight, I'm not going to see my daughter graduate. Took the next 7 months, lost 130 pounds. People think there's some secret. Ask me, how'd you lose that weight? Like there's some secret. There is no secret. How'd I lose the weight? Just one word, discipline. I've had other successes in life, and I attribute them all to discipline. Now, I'm not the king of discipline, but I believe that it can help all of us. Friends, colleagues convinced me to start a podcast. The podcast mission? How do we better ourselves and society? I talk to interesting people in health, fitness, sport, wellness, business, technology, science, art, and culture. And I eventually ask them how discipline plays a role in their life. Podcast vision, growth through learning from others.
He's always put it closer.
Yeah. So what is the name of the thing you drive? It's got one wheel. It's a skateboard, but it's a what's it called?
Yeah, it's a OneWheel made by Future Motion. It's a California company, and they're just as good off-road as they are on-road.
But it's still a skateboard shape.
Yeah.
But it's got the wheel in the middle. I've seen them.
Yes. Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Obviously, there's automation. There's a motor in there.
Yeah. A lot of tech.
And so do you lean like you did with the old
Segways?
Segways.
Yeah, it has a gyro in there, so it knows kind of what you're doing. Unlike a Segway, though, you can overpower it.
Yes. Oh, you can.
You can totally put too much weight on the front, and it nosedives, and then you're Supermaning off the front.
Whoa.
And that's happened a few times.
Were you a skateboarder first?
You know, I wasn't, but when I saw that they released it. It was they had a version that you shouldn't have ridden because it was really dangerous, and I read about it. It was really bad. And it looked kind of like a tank. It looked pretty weird. But when I heard that they were coming out with this new streamlined version, I got in line for it. I put my money in, and then I went and learned to skateboard. So I could
How long ago was this, Brent?
It might have been 10, 12, 13 years ago.
Oh, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been out a while, over 10 years.
Wow. So you learn how to skateboard.
Yeah. And then it turned out to be nothing like skateboarding. It's more like surfing or snowboarding.
Really? Why? What's the difference?
Well, because on surfing and snowboarding, you ride a little bit sideways.
I see.
You don't. It's different than skateboarding. And you kind of carve more like it just feels a lot like snowboarding.
The difference between skiing and snowboarding. Skiing, you're facing forward, and that you're kind of sideways.
Snowboarding, you're more like your feet are kind of both going one way, and you're facing that way. So.
Wow. And the rush you get, is it a rush? Is it to get from place to place? Are there competitions?
Yeah, all of the above. There's on-road and off-road competitions, and I ran a OneWheel group in Los Angeles, which is where my MSP was.
I see.
And we got it up to, before I left LA, I think we had 4,000 members in it.
Wow.
So it's a very popular thing to do in Los Angeles because there's so many great bike paths and trails.
Okay, that's it. So you got to do it on a bike path or a trail. You can't do it in a skate park.
No, you can get around in a skate park, but I wouldn't. It's not like skateboarding that way. Like there's things that you can do there, but not most of the things.
Obviously, it's electric. It's not combustible engine. Is there an app that you can fine tune it?
Yeah, there's an app, and you can choose like carving styles. You control the lights on it. It's got lights in the front and back.
Is it really?
Yeah, I've ridden it in most cities in North America. I've ridden it in Times Square.
That is so cool. That's unbelievable.
The most dangerous thing, I think about New York and danger, because it really wasn't Times Square. The cabbies were great. Almost everybody was great. The bicycle messengers hated me. Like they were hostile.
In this fast-paced MSP landscape, how do you stay ahead? Introducing MSPinfluencer.com, your ultimate hub for MSP news, insights, and community connection, powered by Forza Dash. More than 75,000 MSPs subscribe to our MSP Influencer Pulse weekly newsletter, staying informed and ahead of industry trends. Tune in to emerging podcasts from Joey Pinz and leading MSP voices, offering essential tips, powerful insights, and success stories. Explore our multi-authored blogs, crafted specifically specifically for MSP leaders, delivering fresh perspectives and actionable strategies. Celebrate excellence with the industry-leading Forza-MSP Influencer Awards, recognizing innovation, leadership, and impact in the MSP community. Join thousands of MSP professionals who trust MSPinfluencer.com to grow their business and expand their networks. MSPinfluencer.com, where today's MSP leaders connect, collaborate, and conquer, all powered by the Forza platform, helping MSP vendors work effectively with MSPs and helping MSPs grow.
I subscribe to New York bikers right now, and even if there's people walking slowly across it, they're swearing and get out of the bike lane. Yeah,
it's bad. Yeah. It's bad, but it's a lot of fun too. I think that it's my go-to thing when because you really can't stay stable, and think about anything.
You got to concentrate.
Yeah, you got to focus on what's coming ahead. There's certain things that will launch you, like 6-inch potholes, or a curb. You can go over a curb, but not at speed.
I see.
You can go up to one and jump it. You can ride over a curb all day long.
Wow.
You can get air. But you got to have your mind in the game every second. It's not like a bike where you can kind of talk and.
Right. You're not putting anything in your ear. You're not listening to anything.
Yeah, I do listen to some. I got a playlist.
I see. In one ear.
In one ear, because you got to hear
the traffic.
You got to hear people you're riding with. You usually ride together, so you need to hear what they're coming up on you, and it can be like a NASCAR pileup if you're not careful.
Helmets, elbow pads.
Yeah. So for me, helmet, and I wear one wrist pad, but some people go with everything. I fall really good, so I can manage with one.
When you say you fall, I see. You fall okay. Yeah.
I tend to fall and roll and do okay.
Yeah. I was a goalkeeper in high school and before, and in soccer. And I remember one practice, I went to camp, and they sent us to see a bunch of volleyball players. Yeah. And we didn't understand why, because volleyball players know how to land and to roll without hitting their knees. Right. So ever since then, I said, I know how to fall correctly now. There's a way to fall.
Yeah. Growing up, we rode motorcycles, like motocross style, and jumps, and helmet sometimes no helmet.
Yeah.
It was really bad. I'm surprised to have made it through that phase of my life, but I think that kind of got me ready for this. But I carry it in my frunk, my Tesla. I carry it, and it fits perfectly in that little compartment.
Amazing.
And it's kind of like my last mile. I'll park far away, get that thing out, and go where I need to go.
Wow. Did you bring it with you here?
I don't have it in Salt Lake. Now, it got real difficult to carry those on planes because the batteries got big. So the battery in there can take you 30 miles and up to about 25 miles an hour.
Wow.
So the batteries got bigger, and they got a little heavier. So they can't, you got to ship them, you can't carry them on planes anymore. Ooh. Like I did at the beginning. So I don't travel with it as much as I used to.
Yeah, they're getting real strict about that, aren't they? Yeah. And competitions, what are the competitions are like for those?
So Race for the Rail, they have these two rails on the side, and Future Motion, who builds them, gives away a trophy that looks like a rail. And it's called Race for the Rail, and it's really popular. I haven't raced in that. Some folks from from the LA OneWheel group did win it, so I was cheering them on for that, but probably 20, 30 years younger than me, so yeah.
What a great idea. Park a mile away and then take that in.
Yeah.
And you're in Dallas now, I believe, right? So the weather's generally conducive to this kind of
100%.
thing. Yeah.
Dallas is great.
Yeah.
LA was great.
Sure. You can't do it in the winter in the Northeast or anything. Obviously,
that one. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cold in New York, but there's
in New York,
snow and ice is rough on that thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
What a great thing. You're making me think now how I can apply that and how I could use it. So tell me about yourself, Brent, before the age of 18. Like, what were your passions? What made you tick?
Oh God, that's going back, for me.
No,
right?
Not that long. Not that long. You were in LA?
Born and raised in Michigan. And when I was 18, I drove my car, a Chevy Citation, to LA. Actually, Santa Barbara.
Did you really?
Went to college there. Completely unrelated field. I was a photographer, and I did photography for our high school stuff, But then when I was 16, I got hired by the regional newspaper, and I was their only photographer. And it was a great run. Wow. It was so fun. I got some Michigan Press Association awards for some of my photography. Very and cool. Just really loved it. And at about that time, my dad died. And so it was like an inflection point, because prior to that, I probably wasn't going to college, but because of the Social Security that kicked in, whoa. I was like, you can go to college now. Wow. I was signed up to go into the Navy. I was in the delayed entry program.
Amazing.
Thinking that's how I would get college paid for, because we had no money.
Around what year is this?
1979.
Late 70s.
Yeah.
And very interesting time right then.
Oh, yeah.
Because, so this is way after Vietnam.
Yeah.
This is way...
We had hostages in Iran then.
Hostages in Iran,
it was a really...
Jimmy Carter, long lines to gas,
Yeah. And so it wasn't great that my dad died.
I understand.
It was a rough thing. But once my kind of a mentor said to me, well, now you can go to college. You don't have to get on the bus and go to Detroit and do boot camp and all that. And you can just go to college. So, well, where do you want to go? And I want to go to California.
Wow.
And so I went out there and went to photo school at Brooks Institute, which was an accredited college and I got a BA in commercial photography. And that was interesting, because while I was getting my BA in commercial photography, in those days we shot 8x10, 4x5 cameras, film.
Okay. You had a black room.
Yeah, dark room. Excuse me. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. And we were trained on the commercial photography side to do still lifes and cars and, product work. It was a really interesting, fun career. But while I'm going to school in Santa Barbara, I go to the City College and took some computer courses on a Data General mainframe. And we did basic and Fortran type programming. And I was good at it. I really liked it. Yeah. But I continued, got my degree, moved to LA. I shot for most of the big agencies, Chiat Day, J. Walter Thompson.
Did you really?
McCann Erickson. I did that for 10 years.
Wow.
And also shot for some of the department stores like Broadway, May Company, Robinsons.
Wow.
It was great. It was heady days.
Studio indoors kind of stuff?
Yep, it was all studio, large format. Shot food for Bon Appetit, LA Magazine, Princess Cruises. We shot all the soaps for Neutrogena for all of their kind of collateral. I mean, it's just a bunch of different things. But what was happening while I was doing photography is I co-developed some software.
Did you really?
Yeah. And
photograph related?
Yeah, it was called Studio Manager. And a friend of mine, it was his company, and he developed this software that we used in our businesses on the very first IBM PC. So the very first XT and then AT computers, we created software for it, and the photographers and designers in Los Angeles and around the country used it. And I traveled to Javits Center in San Francisco or New York. I forget
Javits in New York.
Javits in New York, and then San Francisco. Moscone and Atlanta, all over the place, and showed shows like this, showed photographers how software could improve their business.
Wow.
And
80s?
Yeah.
This is the 80s?
Yeah, it was 90s probably, no, it should have been in the 90s.
This go to the 90s.
Yeah.
Okay.
This would have been late 80s, early 90s.
Pre-Y2K, no World Wide Web yet. Yeah.
Right. So that was a fun time, but I was still doing photography. But the problem with photography is, in LA, they were taking the work that we were doing for $2,000 to $3,000 a day in the 80s. It was a good day rate.
Yes, good gig.
And we had just kind of markups on everything, stylists and props, and it was a really good business for 10 years. But as I'm in my 20s, these guys in their 50s and 60s, like my age now, were undercutting me because there was more photographers than there was work.
Interesting.
And in 1993, we're pregnant with my son, number one. And I'm looking around and I'm thinking, I don't think this business is going to get this kid to college.
Wow.
But yet, while that was happening, the PC revolution was taking off.
Yes, it was.
I think in Los Angeles, we networked the first PCs anywhere, and it was for a studio in Los Angeles.
Wow.
And so I understood the power of networking, They were all individual standalone PCs, but we networked ATs with Weiss dumb terminals.
Whoa.
Like we were like way
Sure.
ahead of Novell.
Yeah, Novell wasn't out yet.
Yeah, we were ahead of all that.
Yeah.
And then as Novell came on the scene, and then eventually, Windows networking, it was clear I needed to be in doing, because everybody knew I knew about computers, knew about software. And as the photo business was dwindling, it just wasn't what it was when I started 10 years prior. The computer business was like booming.
Yes, it was.
And so with my son on his way, I made, within 8 months, my last job was for Neutrogena in December of 1993.
Wow.
And that was the last time I did that work. And I had replaced the income and the profitability within about 14 months.
Wow.
So
and major MSP.
Yeah,
Well, it wasn't an MSP
yeah,
back then.
We were more like
just
white,
tech support and
VAR
yeah,
type.
VAR,
we
value-added
made
reseller.
white box PCs.
You were all white boxes, yeah.
We did some Dells and Compacts and no IBMs.
Right.
That Computerland,
it's
Businessland
too expensive for us. Yeah.
did those, and we've
But
competed.
then Dell eventually wiped you out with the white box business.
Yeah,
right?
we were the first. We were doing MSP when I think we were the only ones that swore off hardware, and we did that. Pinned me down on a year.
After Y2K?
Oh, yeah. We were after Y2K, but not much. And I
Doing
think
flat rate.
Yeah. So, in our business in Los Angeles, we never went flat rate, but we did 100% stop selling hardware.
I see.
And we didn't restart selling hardware until we joined New Charter. And because
something, which was when?
that was 6 years ago.
Whoa,
That
20
was-
years.
Yeah.
Oh, well, 15.
Yeah.
Or 14.
Yeah. We just didn't do hardware. And it
Because
put
the
it,
clients were buying it themselves.
Yeah.
Dell
And-
was going direct.
yeah.
You were showing them. We had clients. I started my MSP in 93
Yep.
as well. A group of my clients, they
Yep.
wanted to get it themselves. And they said, okay, this is what you get.
Yeah, and we charged them for that
For that time.
and
That's
it was
what we did.
actually more
That's
profitable
right.
than what we
Then
could have
bringing in
made.
a box and keeping
And
a
we-
supply of motherboards and
We never got shopped on price
Look at
once
that.
we stopped selling
look at that.
on price.
Look at that.
It worked out really well for
Yeah.
us.
What was the best part about being an MSP? Owner
Yeah,
or founder?
I think for me it was helping businesses.
Yeah.
I enjoyed business very much, and we got to see cement companies and manufacturers of Apache helicopter parts, and
So cool.
like seeing them like helping them with their business in these critical ways was probably the best part of my job.
Really, really cool.
Yeah.
And when you had to separate, Brent, being from a business owner and being a technician, like when you had to kind of make that break, I mean, was that difficult? Did you always, were doing all the sales? Were you doing everything yourself?
Yeah, so we went that inflection point in December
Yeah.
of '93. It was me, and I hired a trainer right away, a guy who could do training, and then I hired a tech within a month after that. So we were three quickly.
Wow.
And then I brought my wife and partner in life at that time into the business, and she did the back office. So we had it going really quickly. But I did founder-led sales the whole time. I never stopped.
Yeah, me too.
It actually was the most fun part of the job,
Yeah.
so I held on to it.
I liked it.
I was a member of Vistage and a member of EO, and you meet a lot of CEOs as they come and go out of those groups, and I enjoyed that part of it too, like hearing about the good and the bad and the businesses, and I got pretty good at helping them, and ultimately it was Vistage that inspired me to look for a buyer for DCG.
DCG's your MSP.
Yeah, that was my MSP, DCG LA.
Why? Why did they encourage you? You didn't want to do it anymore?
Well, everybody in Vistage is working toward a sale.
Get out.
Like, yeah, they're all. I mean, they're really managing the equity in Vistage,
Interesting.
and a big part of what you're working on is to build a business that someone would want to buy, and that means working yourself out of most of the jobs and showing growth and profitability, top line and bottom line growth over time, and picking the right moment.
I remember this one. We had acquired a couple of companies, and we were up to 50 employees. And I remember we're gonna have a picnic, a company picnic. And I remember I went to the picnic, and people, Brent, brought their grandkids. And I remember thinking to myself, this little thing that I started in my father's garage is affecting grandchildren.
Right.
It scared the hell out of me.
Yeah.
After that picnic, I went right to the office. I was like, I better really focus on what I'm doing here.
Yes.
This little thing that I started, which is now, 50 employees affects grandkids.
Yes.
I mean, I can't. I mean, I'm always working hard anyway, but it's
Right.
just I had to bring it up another level.
Right.
It just kind of smacks you. It's we don't give enough credit to a lot of the founders of these MSPs and even small businesses about how difficult it is to keep it running.
There's mortgages.
There's
car
mortgages.
payments.
Yes, there's grandkids.
I think people think it's easy to make a decision about a termination or even a hire. I agonize over it. Like, I'm not sure this guy's right for this job. Should I hire him? Well, he's got kids. I don't think I should pull him out of that other job unless I'm positive, because I would really, and it's interesting at New Charter, I think one of the things, as now I'm in my new role as VP of mergers and acquisitions,
M&A.
when I'm talking to someone who cares about what happens to their employees and first, what happens to their clients second, and then they want to know how this is going to affect them third, I know they're going to be our kind of guy.
There's their priority, the correct priorities. Yeah.
Yeah, but you just struck a nerve with me when you said you looked around and thought, oh my God, this is a big responsibility.
Yes.
And I think that's back when COVID was hitting, that's when we actually sold.
Whoa.
Yeah, and COVID had hit in about March of, was it 2022?
I thought it was
2021, yeah. That's when we sold. And when I say sold, we actually went through, I had 5 different offers, 3 LOIs, and as I can get into why I didn't pick those and why eventually I was one of the 4 starting companies in New Charter.
Wow.
I can get into why I made that decision, but I think as far as what you said, for me, it was very much about de-risking. I felt like the safest bet for my employees and my clients, and for me, was to separate my job, which I loved, from the biggest investment of my life, which was the business,
right,
from my career. And figuring out a way to do that at that point in time, because I had run the business for 27 years, and I was going home and thinking the same thing, like, well, what if we have a supply chain attack? Like, what if what happened to some of those guys, the SolarWinds guys or the Kaseya guys that had this supply chain attack infect all of their clients? I was like, and it was happening then. It was very fresh in my mind. I also felt like the successful MSPs would be bigger than successful regional ones would always have a place, but the most successful would be national and not regional. So I felt like there was a couple reasons to do it, but the biggest one was to de-risk. Just kind of like you're talking about. Having my company in a safe place and my employees in a safe place where they can, be part of a diversified portfolio of companies is where we're not in one vertical, we're not in one city.
Right.
It's interesting, in the 6 years that I've been part of New Charter, LA's like booming right after COVID. Now, not so much. After the fires, there's been a lot of not booming, right?
Yeah.
In fact, the whole West Coast is like that. It's getting better again. But while that's happening, New Orleans and Houston and Nashville and Denver's doing great.
Right.
So we're in this diversified portfolio of companies, and that makes things a lot safer for all of us that's in the company.
What if discipline wasn't about punishment, but about unlocking your best self? I spent 2.5 years writing Discipline for Greatness because discipline changed my life. And I know it can change yours too. This isn't theory. Inside, you'll find real, practical steps you can use immediately to focus better, build stronger habits, reduce stress, accomplish your goals, and bring more balance to your life. Whether you're trying to get healthier, improve your career, or simply feel more control, this book gives you the framework. Start today. Grab your copy of Discipline for Greatness at joeypinz.com/book. Thank you.
So is the reason why you chose to partner or sell with New Charter similar reasons why other MSPs should consider it?
Yeah, so there's usually two types of sellers in MSP. One's had enough.
Wants out.
They want out, and they're looking for a payday. They sometimes care about their employees, but mostly they just want out. And those are not MSPs that we want to acquire.
Interesting.
We want to acquire the MSP that has gas in the tank, that feels like they want to continue their entrepreneurial journey. They can be in their 60s, but some are in their late 30s. Like some of them have run companies for 8 years or 4 years. Others have run them for 30 years. So it's kind of a whole gamut of types. But the thing that they have in common is that they want to be part of this. They want to reinvest. And as an investment, I don't know if you're old enough to remember the whole Peter Principle idea, but yeah, we kind of get to our level, and once we arrive there, like we can beat our heads against the wall to get to, like if you say you're at 10 million, it's really, you can beat your head against the wall to get to 15 in revenue. And I was at 5, and what was kind of crazy was once we joined New Charter, we went to 11.
Amazing.
And we did it in about just under about 3.5 years.
Unbelievable.
So we grew by 33% per year. And part of it was just being unleashed. We were expected to grow, so we did.
Right.
I was able to move away from HR and some of the accounting stuff and just focus on sales.
Nice.
And I love that. Nice. And so that really worked well for my MSP. But kind of in that whole separate your business from your investment, because we kind of get to a level, and MSPs tend to get to the level and they kind of ride there. When you put a third of your equity back into something like New Charter that's growing at 19% organically per year.
Amazing.
And then we grow by about the same amount by acquisition, which is what I work on.
Yes.
It's really hard to beat that growth of your equity. So now you've de-risked, you're growing faster than you were or you could have, and you're continuing your career in something that's like what I do now is so different than what I did when I was running an MSP. And the first year, even though I wasn't doing M&A then, I was involved in it because there was only 4 of us.
Right.
So we were all involved in M&A, and I just never really stopped, and I love it. It's something about getting an MSP owner at the point in time when they feel like they want more. They get an 8-figure exit. That's kind of nice. They reinvest a third of it in a company that's growing faster than they were. And then they get to collaborate with a bunch of really smart guys that have built successful MSPs in different ways in different cities. And I like to say we're kind of like an evolve group on steroids, because we actually are partners with each other, and we're meeting quarterly in an evolve format that has really helped us energize each other and the business.
But sales is about people. So when you're doing the sales, you're working with people, you're talking with people. It gets a bad rap a lot of times from the SMBs. And it's dirty. But sales is like you have a true service that you believe helps others. So making that transition to what you're doing now, I don't see that as a far stretch.
No. Sales is hard, and it is kind of, it does get a bad rap when you're having to sell something you don't believe in.
Right.
But when you believe in it, sales is easy.
Talk to MSPs every day, and so many of them say, I run this business, but I really love being an engineer. I mean, even myself, I have ruined people, some of my technicians, because I made them managers.
Yes.
You're so good at it.
Yes.
We're going to give you more money. And then 3 months in, it's like, I hate this. I want to work on tickets. I don't want to manage these people anymore. And so there's some people that just like to do it. And then when they're pushed into that space of being the owner, they're not good at it.
Yeah. And, we've done this 35 times now.
Wow.
And I would say in a good number of them, the relaxing part for a owner that sells a new charter is they get to go back to doing what they love.
Right.
And that's pretty cool.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
This is what I see it in their face. I love working on tickets. I love project managing these projects and coming up with solutions. I can't stand the accounting. I can't stand the HR. I can't stand the sales.
Yeah.
You know, or the opposite.
Yeah.
Like you, I love sales. I love being in front of people.
Yeah.
And then, throwing it over the wall and handing it to great people who can solve their problems.
Yeah.
But they can't. They have to wear all these hats.
Yeah.
And then some of them, they don't delegate very well.
Yeah.
They end up doing it themselves. And this one, I had to talk. He would order the pizza. I'm like, you don't need, you can, it's because they're baby.
Yeah.
And they feel they can't. But I don't mean to pick on them because they're all so hardworking and they believe in what they're doing.
It's one of the hardest businesses
It
that
really
I've
is.
been involved in.
Yeah.
And because of Vistage and EO, I saw a lot of businesses. And I feel like MSP founders work really
do.
hard.
They really, really do. So we're here, Brent, at PAX 8 Beyond.
Yeah.
Salt Lake City. What are some of your goals this week?
Yeah, so for me, these events are like how I reconnect with people that I've known, some of them for decades. And then we also use these events to bump into new MSPs that are coming into the market in terms of wanting to explore how to sell their business. A lot of people don't know this, but a third of the deals we do, I'm talking to them for 3 or 4 years,
Right.
like on a regular basis. I've been talking to him for 3 years.
Amazing.
I keep telling him, like, when are you coming in? Water's great. When are you coming in?
Could be a long sales cycle.
It is, but and I've had them go other directions because some don't want to do our model.
Sure.
The idea of staying 3 or 5 years just doesn't interest them, and I'm happy for them when they choose another direction as well. But it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There's the other thing with those guys that are in this 3 to 4 year sales cycle is, and I learned this through my Vistage coaching, is that there's levers you can pull that can really make a difference, and I like helping them with that. It's like, come into the deal growing. Oh, you didn't grow this year? Come into the deal next year. Because you're worth more to an acquirer if you've got growth and you're not going backwards. So there's probably a bunch of those that I like to help founders with. Because ultimately, I'm an MSP first that helped start a platform that's now $465 million with 35 companies.
Amazing.
And I just want for them what I have, and the timing's got to be right, and they've got to be happy with their decision, and so it can take years, and I'm okay with it.
I started my MSP around the same time, around 93.
Yep.
I sold in 2019. I was the first acquisition for Logically.
Really?
Yeah, the very first.
They're still quite active.
Quite active.
Yeah.
Yes. My MSP was never for sale.
Right.
But I knew some of the people, and they kept coming, and then they gave me an offer I couldn't refuse, and I said, okay, and I got out completely. I didn't stay.
Yep.
And I'm doing MSP influencer and other things now.
Right.
So when an MSP is considering it, I mean, is there a particular stage where you wish to talk to them than others, or you just at any stage, any interest you want to talk to them?
So a lot of people don't know this either, but most of the MSPs we acquire were not for sale.
Right.
And so, and that's because we begin the conversation before most people have decided that, I'm going to sell.
Wow.
Most MSPs don't even realize that that selling doesn't mean that you're not in the business anymore, or that you're not in the industry anymore.
Right.
And I think many think that's what it is, that they think their employees are going to have a new boss and a new charter. That's not true. They think that their clients are going to have a new stack of tools, a new charter. That's not true. I mean, we do come together on ERP and our CRM and our PSA. We come together on that stuff, but we care more about what tools we're all going to be using 3 years from now than the ones that brought you here. So we put a lot more focus on that than like doing hardcore integration like you had with Logically.
Right.
But you left, so they had to.
That's right. They had to.
And that model, and I respect very much that model, it's hard.
It is.
It's hard to do that and grow.
Yeah.
And so I really respect the models that do that. That's not our model, though. But the thing that's needed in our model is we need that founder to stay. And we need best in class. So, one of the reasons we got such a great room of founders is that we don't buy fixer-uppers. They come into the platform, they're typically growing. They're over $1 million in EBITDA, and sometimes they're 2, 3, or 4 million in EBITDA.
Wow.
That's where we like to acquire these companies. So they're typically best in class. They're in the top 1% of MSPs. And so that helps us create a platform where we can trust that founder to manage that market with doing what he was doing, because he wasn't a fixer-upper. So there's a bunch of things that goes into our model, but you've heard a few of them. And that's a really important one. No fixer-uppers.
None. I'm proud to say to this day my employees are still with Logically.
That is so great.
Yeah, because I hear from them. And I hear from them. Is there a question, Brent, you wish more people asked you?
Yeah. When is the time right? When is the right time? And because sometimes they come in and maybe it's too early, and sometimes I think they come in too late. So this is how this happens. Let's say they have $1 million in EBITDA, and I talk to them at PAX 8 Beyond, and they say, I really want to do it, but I want to get my EBITDA up to $2 million because I know the multiple's a little bit higher there. It is actually higher for $2 million.
Of course.
So, we got here and we know what we're doing. We're going to go to $2 million. Well, that next $1 million can sometimes take longer than it took for the first $1 million in EBITDA, because when you get over $1 million in EBITDA, you got scaling issues. You got to put in some middle managers, and sometimes they actually 2 years they're coming back to me, and now they got $900,000 in EBITDA. And the interesting, I wish that they would talk to me, because if you come in at $1 million and reinvest a third in a company that's growing by 19%. That multiple is way higher than what he's going to get someday at $2 million.
Wow.
Like the multiple go up. And so he could actually be working his tail off for another 3, 4, 5 years and not get to where he would have been if he just came in to New Charter at $1 million. So I wish more folks would understand the value of the equity in these things. It's easier to grow equity in a company that's growing fast and has more of it than one that's kind of growing incrementally and has little of it.
If we went 10 years ago now, about 10 years from now, is there something in the past that you believed firmly in that you no longer believe now?
100%. So, and I had to have some conversations about this.
With yourself?
With my clients and my employees. So in Los Angeles, there was a number of, I won't name them, there was a number of platforms that were very active about 6, 8, 10 years ago. And they were kind of trailblazers in that they were rolling up MSPs way before we started.
Oh, wow.
And they created a reputation for first the employees leave, then the clients leave. And we were in LA, like just scooping those clients up. Like we loved it. So I was preaching to my employees, see what happens when you get acquired and this big bad PE comes in and they change things. And we're sitting there waiting for their employees to answer our ads, which they did. And then we'd go get their clients because the clients were unhappy. They didn't have the experience so I had to, when I got through Vistage, I learned that not all PE was bad, but you had to pick the right type of PE. Private equity allows you to grow at these, 13, 15, 18x on your equity, where when you're in like this 1 million and lower, you're like at, 6, 7, 8x, right? And so I learned that in Vistage, but I also had to kind of eat my words with my clients and my employees. And the reason it was easier with the New Charter deal is the way that we designed it, no one was doing. It was very different. And that was, we were selling our company completely. It was a full cash offer to New Charter. But we were reinvesting a third, and they were founder shares. So our shares were equal to the PE firms, equal to the other founders that came in. So my story with my employees was that, we've got PE money. We're building a platform the industry has never seen. And we're part owners in this. And I actually brought a few of the employees in so that they could participate in that equity growth. And
Great lesson.
yeah, believe it or not, that removed a glass ceiling that was at my company for my employees that I didn't know we had.
Interesting.
Yeah, so PE has been great for them. It's been great for me.
Because there's more room for them to grow now
Yeah.
in the bigger organization.
Yeah.
Really good point.
You know, the other thing that, since we're at PAX 8, Beyond, and you talked about the founder kind of doing all the things.
Yeah, the hats.
So my life before I was in a platform, even though I probably was the least good at this, was figuring out what the stack was going to be. So I'd be here, well, who's got the best RMM? Who's got the best PA? Yeah, you just name your, who's got the best document management. And I'd make those decisions usually based on maybe who had the best happy hour,
Booth.
the booth, the food, the entertainment.
Tchotchke.
Honestly, it wasn't very scientific because
Right.
you know I'm kind of more on the sales side, but I
Yes.
felt like I could sell this.
Right.
This is something I could sell. And it was based on that more than probably what was the best product.
Right.
I got lucky on some, got unlucky on some of my decisions. One, I don't know if you remember the IBM phone system.
No.
That was one I got very unlucky on. Oh my God, we deployed that. And I still hear to this day from my partner, well, this isn't going to be another like IBM VoIP system, is it?
I didn't know they had
I don't mean
one.
to throw IBM on it, but they
No.
bought a company that
Ah.
did VoIP, and it probably lasted 2 years, and we sold and had to pull out all of those deals.
Amazing.
But the other decisions were better than that one, but honestly, I wasn't the best one.
Right.
And now that we're part of New Charter, what's interesting is that my VCIO, my operational leaders that actually are putting in the solutions and managing the engineers are together with now 35 other companies making those decisions.
That's right.
So we're getting better pricing because
Volume.
we're most of our vendors' largest client.
Yep.
But we're also participating with vendor roadmaps, and the teams that should be deciding this stuff is deciding it,
Right.
and not the founders who sometimes aren't real scientific about it.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Want to show your love for discipline, inspiration, and the Joey Pinz podcast? Now's your chance. Introducing the brand new Joey Pinz merch store, where style meets discipline. Choose from premium apparel, cozy hoodies, stylish hats, durable bags, and your new favorite coffee mug, all featuring the iconic Joey Pinz logo. Perfect for podcast fans, discipline enthusiasts, or as unique gifts for friends and family. Every purchase supports the Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations podcast, helping us continue to inspire greatness and promote positive change. Visit joeypins.com/store today and wear your discipline proudly. Joey Pinz merch. Wear it, share it, and live it.
So when I started the MSP way back when, I was working these 14, 16-hour days. You're no stranger to this. And, I was invincible, Brent. I was in my 20s, 30s, not exercising anymore, poor diet habits.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, I'm in front of the doctor, and she tells me I'm at 340 pounds. So I knew I had gained weight, but I didn't know it was that much.
Couple pounds a year.
It adds up.
Yeah.
So she says to me, if you don't lose this weight, you're not going to see your daughter graduate. She was just born.
Right.
Scared to life. Not
Yeah.
only scared me, it angered me. I remember driving home, punching the steering wheel. Like, this is my pie hole, right? I can abuse myself all I want. It's much bigger. Just like my business, just like my family, it's much bigger than me. Spent the next 6-7 months, lost about 120 pounds.
Amazing.
You can't look at these as finishing lines. There's a lot of people, gaining weight back. These are lifelong changes you have to make.
Right.
And when I tell people this, they always say, "What's your secret? What you do?" There's no secret. Discipline, right? Motivation, routine, focus, willpower, all under, I believe, discipline. How does discipline play a role in your life?
For me, discipline's all about patience.
Patience.
Yeah. And
not being rash.
yeah, it's when I'm patient,
Yeah.
things work out. Like I went through 5 deals before I ran into Mitch Morgan, who had kind of this idea about building an MSP, getting PE backing, and having founders own founder shares.
Wow.
And being patient made this happen. Best decision of my life. But prior to this, there were 4 deals that all kind of sounded good. They were all 8 figures. So that was like, they're all going to be, we were going to be okay. But I'm positive that, during my diligence of those companies, I would call other founders and it's like, how's your life? Well, I'm going to be out of here in 12 months. I'm going to be out of here in 18 months. Well, why aren't you staying? Well, it's not quite like it was. And ultimately, and then there was a family office that wanted to make us into a platform. And I, having run an MSP group in Pasadena, California, I knew how hard it was to get MSPs to do your thing. And I knew how heavy a lift that was, and I knew that would be harder work than what I was doing just running my MSP. And I didn't want to buy into that. So there were being patient and just saying no, no. And with Mitch, ultimately, I met him at a Continuum event, which is
of all things
prior to ConnectWise.
Yeah.
I met him, and I was pretty frightened. I said, I'm about ready to give up here. He was on an M&A panel, which reminds me, I've got to be on one pretty soon here.
We'll cut right out.
Yeah. And he comes off, and I said, I'm about ready to give up here. And he says, well, I can help you. And I'm like, well, why is it going to be different with you? And because I had some other representation, and he said, well, I know what you want. And so he brought one more deal. Won't say who it was. And I can remember I was on my OneWheel in Los Feliz. It's a great area, beautiful area to be riding. And I remember seeing him calling in. He's like, well, what did you think of that one? Like, how's it going? And does it look like this is one you could do? And I said, Mitch, you're wasting my frickin' time.
Wow.
And it wasn't, that wasn't exactly how I said it.
Right. I get it.
Yeah. And he said, well, what's up? And I said, you said it'd be different. And I'm not finding the MSP that I want to, platform that I want to jump in with, because they don't even have 3 people I can call out of 7 or 8 that say they like their life now.
Wow.
I want to like my life after I do this. And he says, okay, we're gonna regroup on something here. He says, 4 years ago I tried to get this off the ground. I couldn't find a PE firm, but with your LOI and 3 others that I know that want to do this, that aren't happy with the current mix of things, if I can go get the PE, will you throw in with me on this? And I said I would. I felt like he understood what we were doing,
right.
And I liked him, and I trusted him. And he did exactly what he said he would do and more. He transitioned to the board 2 years ago, April, and now Peter Melby, who's also an MSP. He was my first call when I joined New Charter. I said, Peter, you got to look at this. Oh, I know what that's about. We're going to go another direction. And I said, no, you need to look at this. Just take a minute. And he looked at it, and he was, I think, number 7,
wow.
Greystone. And now he's our CEO.
He's CEO now, yeah.
Our COO is Chris Trabadnet. Chris was Peter's first call.
Wow.
And so he's our COO, and the 2 of them have put together an incredible management team at New Charter. And Mitch delivered everything he said he would do, except our valuation's higher than he promised. It's like, how often does that happen?
Under promise, over deliver.
He did.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody realized, and it's great to be an MSP right now. It's like those of you who are an MSP that haven't found a platform, you got to know that this is a great time to be an MSP.
Yeah.
The valuations are better than when I came in. You guys, when I say the MSPs that we're looking at are operationally mature than I've ever seen. They're well versed in how M&A works. The expectations are good. They're running their businesses more for equity, and that's important. It's just a great industry to be in, and people should feel blessed to be in it. You said it was hard earlier, and that's true.
Yeah.
But it's also a blessing to be in this industry right now.
It sure is. I still say we when I say I still consider myself an MSP.
I do too.
Because I feel for them. They're in the trenches. I talk to them every day. I'm on some boards. You know, I love it so much. Brent, really appreciate your time today. Anybody
You're
watching
welcome.
or listening, how can they get in touch with you? LinkedIn probably the best.
Yeah, LinkedIn's great. Brent Whitfield, and I'm with New Charter Technologies, and it's easy to find me.
Brent, thank you so
Appreciate
much.
ya.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks for doing what you do.
Thank you for listening and or viewing Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. Please share this episode with one or two of your friends who you think may benefit from the episode. Our website, www.joeypinz.com. There you'll find lots of resources and you could join our mailing list. Please follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Podcast information, the video version of our podcast is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Audio is on all major podcasting platforms. Please follow them. And if you like it, please consider giving 5-star rating. Would really appreciate that. Thank you again for listening or watching Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations.